The album is finished. Hell yeah, man. Now all we gotta do is pick a release date. Which Friday you want to do it on? Well, Halloween does fall on a Friday this year. Hell yeah, man. Wait a minute. Don't you think that dozens, if not even hundreds of other bands are going to have the same idea? Nah. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, JonBarbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's album art of the week. It's Halloween weekend, and that means we got a whole lot of new metal albums dropping on us, and I'm bringing you my 5 favorite. But as always, before we jump into my top 5, let's break the news on the big albums that dropped this week. First up, we got a new EP from Trivium called Struck Dead, and it is crazy after 20 years how hard these guys still go. And there's a new record from Avatar called Don't Go in the Forest. You like your metal a little quirky? Well, here you go. And there's a new record from Danheim called Heimford. And yeah, it's not really metal, but Nordic folk music is about as metal adjacent as you can get, right? Check it out. All right, time to get crushed. New one from Despised Icon called Shadowwork. If you're into Carl Jung and the breakdowns, here you go. And lastly, before we jump into the top 5, Moonspell just seems to be doing cool things ever since the pandemic kicked off. They did a concert a few years ago in a cave that was completely quarantined, and now they've got a live album called Opus Diabolicum, the orchestral live show. Moonspell with a full orchestra. You know that's going to be really cool. Now let's do the top 5. Coming in at number 5, One of Nine, Dawn of the Iron Shadow, black metal from Parts Unknown. This is Tolkien-themed black metal, and Tolkien and black metal have something in common. Each world has a lot of fans, and some of those fans go deep into the lore, and some go even deeper still. Now, I've only read the Silmarillion one time because it was an absolute chore and I have no desire to read it again. But thankfully, there are other nerds out there that like to break down the lore in art forms I do understand and enjoy, like black metal. And One of Nine brings all the epicness and the frigid and the raw and the intense that's needed to paint the lore of Morgoth's legacy. If you're into Tolkien and black metal, One of Nine might be the best band to scratch that itch. Coming in at number 4, Black Cross Hotel, songs for switches, Gothic, post-metal out of Chicago. And this one really reminds me a lot of Marilyn Manson and Ministry if you pump in a whole lot of Atlas Moth and Stabbing Westward and then infuse it with a real punk rock vibe. I like how the industrial stuff oscillates between danceable grooves and cyberpunk dystopia. This is some of that good goth for those bad days. Coming in at number 3, Semikin with Text is on the screen, and as always, every band's Bandcamp link will be in the description so that these albums are easy to find. My apologies to the band for my American ignorance, but if I try to pronounce that, I will definitely butcher it. But the album, the way it sounds, is heavy, and I love it. It's epic, it's progressive, it's thrashy, it's got a little bit of death metal, it's got indigenous instruments and culture, but it's not just the exotic sound that makes the record so good. The foundation of it is punchy and heavy riffs, and one doesn't really work without the other. Now, there are 2 songs on this album that are way more power metal, and that was sort of a jolt for me. If you're into power metal, you'll love it. If you won't, well, 2 songs out of the rest, it's killer. Check it out. You'll hear what I mean. Coming in at number 2, Believe in Nothing with Rot, Blackened Sludge out of the UK. Now, the singer of this band, he rots pig hearts in a box to represent the message like some sort of black metal folklore. And it's kind of apt for the way that this album sounds. It is torturous. It's like watching a villainous snuff film, and when the antagonist is torturing people and then he stops and there's a long pause that builds this crushing anxiety and tension, and then the band holds on that tension for extended periods before slapping you around with another crescendo. This is a record that is not just listened to, it's endured. And I gotta wonder, are these guys okay? And hey, before we do number one, it is the day after Halloween when this airs technically, which means it's November 1st, which means holiday season has begun. And I think you need a good looking holiday sweater to wear to your next holiday party. I think this one would look really good on you. So you should head to JonBarbas-shop.fourthwall.com and check out the mid-winter, the fall line of the Heavy Metal Philosophy merch store. Links in the description. These will only be available during fall and winter. When spring comes, they go away forever. So get it while you can. But now let's do number one. Coming in at number one, Sakna. If they sieve dudes into, this is melodic / depressive black metal out of Canada. When you hear this, to say it's a labor of love would be a tremendous understatement, because the composer of this spent 5 years working on his magnum opus before, unfortunately, taking his own life. And in the years that followed, his brother, S, has meticulously recovered the recordings, mixed and mastered them so that this album could be released posthumously. Now, it is quite obvious that a story like this would heavily bias anybody that's reviewing this record, and so therefore, with that in mind, I listened to this one this week multiple times and just kept thinking about it. Am I being wrapped up in this story? And how much is that versus how much do I really like this music? And I just keep coming back to how good it sounds no matter what the story is. This isn't just a great black metal album. This is a masterwork of composition and atmosphere that happens to be a black metal album. And I can only say you should hear it for yourself and see if you think I'm being biased because I'm moved by the story, or if it really is that damn good. I think you'll agree with me. It should be number one. Now let's do the dealer's choice. Longtime subscribers know that the dealer's choice segment is the part of the show that allows me to break my own rules. One of the rules is full albums only in the top 5. So for this week's dealer's choice, I'm picking an EP. It's Pile of Knives, Driven by the Blade, death metal out of Pennsylvania. Now, this current wave, this incoming generation of death metal bands is exemplified by the groove that they're bringing to the genre, and this band is no different. They definitely meet that. What they bring to the table that's unique is they blend a lot of beatdown and hardcore into theirs, but it's not some ham-fisted mashup. They expertly transition between the percussive hardcore riffs and the death metal chainsaws. You don't even realize it's happening until it's already happening. Expert stuff there, death metal with breakdowns, but it's so solidly death metal that you will not mistake it for deathcore. I've only got one complaint with this one. The 4th song is an atmospheric outro, and I'm just like, come on guys, the EP's already short. It's only 3 songs, really. Give us 4 songs, or better yet, hit us with that LP real soon, yeah? Album art of the week time. My favorite album art this week is Despised Icon Shadowwork. Hey John, didn't you already talk about that album? That's right, I sure did. For the first time in this show's history, I'm picking an album twice for 2 reasons. The first reason is that's the most metal thing I've ever seen. The guy rips his own jawbone off, puts it on his head as a crown. He crowns himself with his own flesh. It doesn't get any more brutal or metal than that. And number 2, Halloween dropping on a Friday. This is the most voluminous release day I have ever seen in the 4 years of doing this show, it's not even close, dozens upon dozens of albums. And you would think with that many new metal albums dropping, there would be a lot of album covers that stand out from the pack. But no, look at all these album covers I'm putting on the screen now. Every single one of them, standard heavy metal album cover, the busyness, the oil paintings, the muted color schemes, they all look like bands. Is there like a central repository that y'all go to get your album covers? At this point, you could take a moody photo of the guitar player or the drummer and it would stand out amongst all the other metal bands for being unique. It wouldn't even take that much effort. Come on, y'all. I need something to work with here. I only do 50 of these a year. Surely we can come up with some creative and standout album art, right? Despised Icon did. It's awesome. And I'm pleading with y'all, please, no more standard heavy metal album covers. It's getting tired, right? I'm getting tired of complaining about it. Let's end the show. But before we go, as I said, this is by far and away the most voluminous release weekend I've ever seen. And that means by only picking 5 albums, I had no choice but to leave out a lot of bangers. It was tough to pick this week. So I'm asking y'all, what were y'all's favorites that I didn't mention? Put it in the comments. But most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you.